It's on. It's on. Welcome to the Comedy Star Podcast. We are back. And I have one of my favorites here with me. I'm very excited about this. We have the great Laurie Kilmartin.
Hello, Eleanor.
As my ex used to call her Laurie Kilmartin. And I was like, why? Why did you change her name?
I like it.
But
I like any nickname. You know what? When I was a swimmer in college, but I was like the slowest one on the team.
Really?
And the other team, my other teammates started calling me Killer. And so I would be on the blocks and they'd be like, "Oh, Killer!" But I'd be like, "Don't worry, you're gonna win." I'm no killer on these blocks.
Wait, I noticed. I saw you've been swimming a lot. I didn't know you were a swimmer in in college.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, I just decided when I went, I just did shows in Europe, and I wanted to do swim in a pool in every country, just
amazing.
To know where the pools were. So that was like my little duty of the day.
I'm always like amazed with that because you're like, oh yeah, I was just had a layover in Dublin, so I went swimming. I'm like, no, that would never happen. Like if I had a layover in Dublin, I'd look outside like, oh, this is where my people are from, and then I just stay inside. Like I'd be afraid to get lost or something.
Yeah.
Maybe not now with the GPS, but.
Right.
Yeah.
We were like in an airport hotel, so everyone had to take cabs to wherever they were going to go on the layover. Our flights.
So you could leave the hotel. I guess we're locked in America. Is that not the way it is in the like if I had a layover somewhere, I'm like, I can't leave because then I got to go back through security.
Well, do you want to hear about these layovers?
Please.
Okay, so I had these little shows in Europe. I just wanted to get out of everything, and I just wanted to go away, right? So I had a couple little sets in different countries. And did not plan it well. Showed up and said, "Hey, can I do a show in Berlin? Anyone?"
No way.
I got a show at the last minute. I just wanted to leave, and I thought,
you had something booked initially, right?
One thing booked.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I started getting a few extra things. So the return flight was JetBlue Paris to JFK.
Yeah.
So the first flight, about 1/3 of the way out over the Atlantic, they turned the flight around because there was a malfunction with software, right? So they put us up in an airport hotel in Paris, which is like being at the Marriott in Ohio. You could not tell you were outside of the Midwest. It was, we were so angry and pissed. So then there's one flight a day going out of Paris on JetBlue. So the next day they put us on a different flight. They had to bring a plane over because their other one flight was sold out.
Naturally.
So we have a plane and we go out. And about 90 minutes in, same problem happens. And they return to Dublin this time. So now we're staying over a second night. Oh. And so.
I'd be like, I'll walk. You know what? I'll get a boat. I'll get a boat. I'll take my chance in the water.
And then as we're flying out the successful flight, like Trump was almost shot. And I'm like, you know what? I should have stayed.
It was
why did I insist on
it was that day.
Flight? Yeah.
Yeah. That terrible, but yeah, I get it. I mean,
but it was just like 3 days to get out of a modern city to a modern city. Right. It was really shocking.
You were flying to New York, right?
Yeah.
Not LA. Okay.
Right, exactly.
New York. You know what?
It seems super doable, and they just couldn't do it.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, she's stuck. I saw all these things, and then I'm like, oh wow, you get a layover like that. Like, I wonder how many hours that is because you were able to go swimming.
Yeah, the Dublin layover was pretty cool because the hotel was nice, the buffet was nice, and they had staff at the airport. Okay. The Paris layover there was like one person who didn't even work for JetBlue was handling 200 furious people.
And they hate us. Yeah.
They hate us. There was like a bus that it took forever everyone had to load on the bus, and then they dropped us off at the Marriott in the hotel village. So everyone was really pissed.
Village. Yeah, but that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wait, so what's your stroke? What do you swim?
Breaststroke.
Okay.
But, like my knees hurt now, and I don't know.
But water's the best for that.
It is.
Sorry, my accent. I've been auditioning for these Philly things, and I apologize.
Really?
Yeah, like voiceover things.
More of it. More, please.
I mean, I feel like, all right. I'm all right.
I love Philly, Pittsburgh, and Boston accent.
What? Okay. Boston's my favorite.
Yeah, I love it.
And I'll get stuck in it for days.
I can't do it, but when I hear it, it's like ASMR, where I'm just mesmerized and I can't control my body.
Two more. Just watch Bill Burr in a quiet room. It'd be amazing. No, I love it. And I always, if I'm with somebody from Boston, I'll start talking like that. Like if they have a hardcore accent, I'll start doing it too. I'm like, what are you, retarded? Like I don't know why, it just happens.
Yeah, right.
And then Goodwill Hunting, I would watch that to fall asleep.
Yeah.
And then I'd wake up and my little sister was like, why do you have a Boston accent? And I'm like, I don't know what happened. It just sticks in there.
Yeah.
Did you swim? Like, did you compete as a kid or anything like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You did? So did I. I loved it.
Oh,
Where'd you grow
cool. Northern California, Walnut Creek.
Okay.
Do you know where it is? There used to be a punchline there.
Okay.
And
so it's close to San Francisco?
Yeah, it's about 35 to 45 minutes away from San Francisco. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it, swimming.
Yeah.
It was like such a... I don't know. My mom was like, I don't know how I had 10 children. I can't even put my nose in the water. And my grandma would put her tippy toes. And you couldn't get us up from the water.
So all of you competed, all 10 of you?
Not all of us.
Right.
I just loved it a lot. But I started smoking really early, so that didn't help.
That doesn't help.
But
it really actually almost hurts.
One of my
Eleanor.
favorite, this is so embarrassing, but one of my favorite, I was a lifeguard too for years, like 7 years.
Yeah, yeah.
And because I could get my license, I think I was 15 or something.
Yeah.
So I did it up until college, everything. It was like great money.
It is good money. Not enough people do it. Like this summer in New York City, they had to close all the lap pools because there are not enough lifeguards.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it was good money. I mean, I worked for the city.
Yeah.
So we were hood rats, like a city pool. That's my shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it was right across the street from my mother's house. So, I'd walk. It was great.
Oh my God.
I mean, luckily we had that playground. Otherwise, my mother would have lost her mind.
Of course.
We had, we had a pool in there, baseball field, football field. It was giant. It was, and so, but we lived in that fucking playground.
Yeah.
For a while, they used to call it Kerrigan's Playground.
Oh, cool.
So many of us in there. And so, but swimming, it was like our favorite thing to do. So then I started lifeguarding and I would teach, of course.
Yeah.
And this little girl was terrified of water. And her grandfather was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And I don't know how, but just like talking to her and being cool with her got her over her fear. And she got second place in the kickboard.
Oh, nice.
Which was a giant deal. And her grandfather's crying.
Aw.
So they brought me a present, and it was a carton of Marlboro Red. And it said...
I thought you were going to say the little girl was Katie Ledecky. I was like...
No. This is South Philadelphia.
The story ends with you getting cigarettes.
And it literally said, to Esther Williams.
Aw.
But it was like, first of all, I'm like, Mom, who's Esther Williams? And then she's like, Eleanor, you don't know Esther. I'm like, no, but I'm like, this is hilarious. They're giving me cigarettes.
Yeah, that's great.
Marlboro Red. This is going to really help with my butterfly. This got me down. I'm going to get first place for sure.
Did you like racing?
Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it. Racing. We went every neighborhood. And my sister, one year, because my sister was my coach, she's 10 years older, and we called her Baby Hitler. She's a problem. She was she would make us swim like I think she was trying to get us in the Olympics.
Yeah.
I got to be honest. Like, we were swimming in sweatsuits.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
She would do
add some drag.
Yeah. She put belts around our ankles. My brother Billy almost died like 3 or 4 times. Like, it was insane, And
wow.
We were like, who the fuck is she? But I was the only one that like kept up. I thought it was good. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
And one time we went to a swim meet. It was just me and her.
Yeah.
The whole team either quit or went down the shore, like Wildwood, New Jersey.
So did you guys have a relay where you and her were the
No.
relay?
She was the coach. So I just did single, freestyle, butterfly. Butterfly was my favorite.
Yeah.
So I got first place in butterfly. I was 11.
Yeah.
And I was such a big deal. And it was just, it's a tough stroke. And then breaststroke, I think I got second. Freestyle, I definitely placed every time for second or third. And so it was just, but my sister was crying because I won butterfly. And that was the stroke that her and this other lifeguard worked so hard with me on.
Oh, nice.
And so I was like, but no one was there to see it. It was just me and Karen.
Do you swim now?
No, but I should. It fucks up your hair, so I stopped doing it.
What do you mean?
My hair was fried for years because I didn't wear a bathing cap.
Well, you would have to wear a cap.
When I competed.
But
later.
But your hair's long too. Like you couldn't not swim without a cap.
Yeah, no, you tie it, but I would always but it just the chlorine would
It got all green. My hair would turn green, but I
turn
loved it.
green.
It was like a badge of honor.
Fuzzy.
Yeah.
It was my sister used
Green
to
and like slimy.
yeah.
Yeah.
My other sister used to call me cotton candy hair. She's like, you got to figure something out. It's disgusting.
Your hair looks great now.
Well, I just got it done this morning.
Okay.
So let's not get crazy. But it's naturally curly.
Yeah.
And it gets wild.
Yeah.
And so when I was swimming, it was like really bad.
Yeah.
And then there was like times, when I was competing, of course, racing, you wore a cap. And then my sister Karen, I didn't know if this was legal or not legal, but she gave us Jell-O packs. Mm-hmm. It's like cocaine for kids.
Oh, right.
Before a meet.
Yeah.
And we'd just be like, and they're like, what did you do to our kids?
Yeah.
It's like,
it was
Jell-O.
We used to get those long packs of like sour, like I forget what was in them. You know what I'm talking about.
The stick, yeah.
The stick with like it's just a powder.
Like a fun dip.
Yes, exactly. I think that was it. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
God,
like,
those were
and you
good.
just, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
The Jell-O powder.
And they give you a dip. It's like, no, I'm just going to shove it. I'm just going to put my head.
You got a straw? Kids are just snorting coke. It was made us wild.
Yeah.
And we would, but it also, Karen was like, it helps with cramping. I'm like, it does? But I don't know.
I don't think it
and I go,
does,
yeah,
but-
because you don't feel anything because you're coked up.
Yeah.
So, but she, that was one thing that was like exciting. Like I'd be like, all right, we're going to get some Jell-O packs.
Yeah.
And all the kids are tweaking.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved it. Did you lifeguard as well?
I did. Did some
Okay.
lifeguarding. Yeah. Coaching, swim lessons, all that stuff.
When
Yeah.
did you start? Like, how did you get into stand up? Like, did you think you were going to be a swimmer or did you think?
Oh, no. I had dropped out of college and
I love it.
Yeah,
I'm already
thank-
aboard.
I was depressed and just like
Twinning.
looking around and going, what? And then I started going to some stand-up shows and going, oh, this looks fun.
Yeah, because you said the punchline, so that was close.
Yeah. In San Francisco, it was like the Other Cafe, which was like this club in the Haight and
In the
Haight-Ashbury district.
Oh, that's perfect for comedy.
Oh, it was great. It was like it was right up
you filled
against
with
an
hate?
open window. Oh, HAIGHT.
Oh, okay.
But it was kind of like do you remember the phrase "the summer of love"? It was like in the late 60s in San Francisco. It started in Haight-Ashbury. So that part of San Francisco has always been really kooky and hippie-ish. Although I don't think any part of San Francisco is like that now, but it still had remnants of that when the Other was up and it was glass. It was just glass, like the stage was up against glass. And so people would just be wandering by and like Paula Poundstone, Kevin Meaney would run out of the club and talk to people while the audience was inside looking through the glass. It was wildness. Yeah.
Meanie's great. Paul Poundstone, too.
Yeah.
Now, were these the comics you looked up to? Did you have other idols in comedy?
I don't know. I didn't like... I guess the funniest club comic I saw back then was Dana Carvey.
Oh, wow.
He would crush.
I believe that.
He would do all of his characters without, any costume changes. He would do Church Lady. He would do Uncle Carlos.
That's special.
Yeah. And he would like go back and forth between them. And I was like, oh my God, like I didn't know how he did it.
Yeah.
And then there's like Larry Bubbles Brown was working. And do you know him? Did you ever work with him? A San Francisco staple. Just like
really?
Yeah. And then I kind of started with Margaret Cho and Greg Barrett and Karen Anderson and Tony Kameen.
Wow.
Kevin Kadoka. Those are the people we all.
A lot of those people I don't know, but Margaret mentioned you when she was on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Oh,
Yeah,
right
yeah.
on. Yeah. She was like 19, maybe?
Wow.
Maybe 18. She was really young.
Yes.
And I was like 22, and I was like, I'm so old.
I'm gonna die soon. That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a hell of a. So they always say San Fran has the best, or at least that was the comic scene.
It was a fun one.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Boston was a great one. I wasn't
Oh,
I would only hear about it, and then Boston comics would move out to San Francisco, like Dana Gould, Bobcat, Tom Kenny, and then you had like Patton and Blaine Capatch. I think they came from D.C. or Virginia or something.
That moved to San Fran first.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
When because I didn't start stand up till 2007.
Really?
Oh,
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was a waitress here in '93.
Oh. Oh.
And I waited tables from 93 to 2005.
Wow.
But I never did I wasn't interested in it at all. I was going to be Meryl Streep.
Yeah, right.
I don't
Yeah.
know what happened. Or Esther Williams. Nothing. They wouldn't even let me
You keep
swim.
doing Boston accents at your auditions.
What the fuck is she flipping and doing that for? Yeah, it's just, but yeah, it was so, it was just, it was my 20. I dropped out of college, same thing. But I moved here, got a job here at the world famous.
Yeah.
We always just called it that.
Well, so while you're watching comedy, but you have no interest in it.
No, but people were coming, like people here came from everywhere. So there was the Boston comics, the San Fran scene. So I just listened to what they say.
Yeah.
Who, we had the best scene. And, Robin Williams is here. And that's all San Fran.
Yeah, right.
Stephen Pearl was my favorite comic in the world.
Yeah.
And that was all San Fran.
Yeah.
Judy Gold was New York.
Oh,
I knew, Judy was my idol. Like when I was waiting tables, literally I'd stop and just stare at her. And Mitzi would yell at me and I go, she's funny.
Bob Rubin, did you know Bob Rubin at all? He was really funny. He was great. He was a San Fran.
Is he San Fran?
Yeah, Johnny Steele. Although he didn't move down here, so. But
yeah,
Bob
see,
Rubin
the problem is if they didn't come here, because I wasn't in the scene.
Yeah, right.
It was just my little bubble here.
Yeah.
And then, whoever was hanging around. But most of the comics moved here from somewhere else.
Yeah, and they'd already been doing comedy and stuff like that.
It was very rare. There's a few comics that, when I first started, that were L.A. comics from L.A.
Right.
Alex Thomas and Daryl Heath and Chris Spencer. They grew up here.
Yeah,
and then they were doing stand-up here. So it's like, oh, okay. Ari Spears, even, he was young, but he came from New York.
Yeah.
And then was out here. But it's just like they were the young, hot comics. Johnny Sanchez, they were the L.A. comics.
Right.
That I remember that grew up here.
Yeah.
But my favorites were always from somewhere else.
Yeah, right.
Boston or San Fran. So I always like those little clicky scenes, if you will.
Yeah.
Because some towns, they're like, I had to get out of Kansas. Like Rick Ingram, he's like, I had to get out of Kansas.
Was he from Kansas?
Yeah.
Where?
He was
Topeka?
No, Kansas City.
Okay.
And he
my dad's from Topeka, so that's
Stanford
the
and
only
Sons.
city I know. What?
Stanford and Sons.
Oh my God,
So,
that club.
He came up there.
I worked there once, and I don't know, there was something unnerving.
Frightening. You mean frightening?
Club.
Frightening.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, I just want to live through this week.
Yeah, the owners were crazy. God love them. I did get to work for them, which was exciting. But Ingram has the craziest stories. Rick has the craziest stories. But there would be for their open mics, there'd be 100 people. Wow. You're doing open mics and there's 6.
Yeah.
There's a homeless guy. That's it.
And they're all necks.
Yeah. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
Does this joke work? Can we just workshop it? Is that cool?
Yeah.
I get it, but he was there was 100 people, and then he moved here, and it was a culture shock.
Right.
Because he's like, where's the audience?
Yeah,
and then they're like, this is it.
Yeah.
And then it just became okay, this is a real fucking challenge.
Yeah.
But the store, when I started, it was still pretty hot-ish, good from the boom. Mm-hmm. And then the owner, Mitzi Shore, her health was declining. Mm-hmm. So I think the building and the club and the business and here was kind of going under. So we call it the dead years.
Yeah. She wasn't
real dark
able to be hands-on.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it was a different vibe. The inmates were running the asylum, if you will, and I was one of the inmates. So
Warden Eleanor, they called you.
I loved it. The fun vacuum, they would call me once in a while. I was like, well, they can press charges for that, so we got to be careful on that one. The doors aren't locked, guys. Let's chill. But it was pretty wild. But now it's this new boom, whatever.
Yeah.
The new comedy boom, I should say.
Yeah.
And people were afraid to come here. Did you ever have I'm sure you had a million bad experiences, not just here, everywhere, but have you ever had a bad experience here?
No, I mostly just did produce shows in the belly room, and I didn't know the process of going through the whole process.
Yeah.
And I had a kid, and I was like, let me just wait until he's old enough to for me to be out late again.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because when I first came here, I was writing on Conan, and my son was growing up. So it's like 3 to 13. It was when I was writing on Conan with him. Those were his ages. And I would do a set and I would just leave immediately. I wasn't like hanging out or stuff like that. So that was just that time of my life where I dart in, do a set, and then go back home.
Now, when you moved from San Fran with a job, did you do a New York set?
I was in New York for like 10 years. Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're in Conan's book.
Oh, what do you mean?
I mean, Colin's book. I said Conan.
Oh, really?
You said Conan,
cool.
so I went there.
Yeah,
Colin Quinn has a book called The Coloring Book, maybe?
I think so. I have it.
It's funny.
Yeah. I haven't read it, but I have it.
I did it on audio. I like to
did?
hear Colin talk.
I should listen to an audio. I could listen to his voice all the
Same.
day. He's got a great voice.
The anger, I can. Yeah. It's in there. It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
But the book is great, and he brought you up.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
I was like,
I worked. Tough Crowd was my first writing job.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
How long were you on that?
It was just a 2-year show.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. It got canceled.
It was so good.
Before YouTube took off. Like, if they had just kept it on one more year and people started clipping out little interactions, it would have been huge. It would probably still be on the air.
Agreed. Let me think.
Because it was so cheap.
Because it was tough, though.
What do you mean?
It literally was like real conversations, which people don't have anymore.
Right.
And I loved that.
Yeah.
Like that aspect of people. The same with his book. That's a real conversation.
Yeah.
That's a real experience. That's a real life. He's talking about it doesn't make it like, this is how everything should be. This is what he experienced.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
right,
People are
right.
like, you're this if you said that. It's like, no, that's not a thing. But on Tough Crowd, I feel like they covered all of it.
They did. And he was really great at being neutral and just moving it along in a really funny way.
Yeah.
And but the arguments were always very real. And
it was great. Yeah, some of the best. Greg Giraldo and
Dennis Leary.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a classic. And Patrice, anytime Patrice was on.
Anytime. I just like watching the clips.
Lisa Lampanelli was sitting, she was sitting on her notes, she had notes, right?
No, I love it.
Well, I mean, I
you have
everyone,
to.
yeah,
I
you
would
had
too.
to write jokes, and I mean, if you didn't have to, but you would look like an idiot, or you could be Patrice, and it didn't matter. He was just on some other level, but Lisa was looking at her notes, between maybe, and Patrice just ripped him up. So rude. I love it.
It's so great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I watched those clips. Dice did it once. I'm going to say in the second season.
Yeah.
And we were dating.
Oh,
so
okay.
I went, and I have a great
cool.
picture of everybody that was on, but he doesn't do politics. He doesn't do it. So he's on a Patrice. Well, I mean, Patrice probably knows more than Andrew because Andrew's just in this one level.
Yeah.
He's not paying any attention to this bullshit over here.
Yeah.
He's like, this makes me laugh. I'm going to say it to you.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't have any facts. It doesn't have any. It doesn't have anything.
Facts will bog you down. Honestly,
that's a silly thing, but doesn't have any I don't know. It's so fun because sometimes he'll say things and I go, you don't even realize how clever that is. That bothers me. But so when he was on Tough Crowd, I was like, oh no, this is going to be bad.
Who was he on with?
That's a great question. It was a long time. I could see the picture. Yeah. I remember what I was wearing.
Yeah.
A blue coat. That's all I remember. Like a puffy coat.
Wait, I remember blue coat lady in the audience.
Is that crazy?
That was you.
I wasn't in the audience. I think I was sitting on the side. It was just weird. It was just, but I never got to be a part of it. And I thought, as I was sitting there, because I never watched it prior to going. And then I was like, oh my God, this is so good.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. And Andrew can get himself out of anything. So
yeah,
it's kind of neat to watch, but you're like, he really has no idea. It's great. It's great. Now a little bit, because he says Trump stole his act, but he's been saying that.
That's funny.
In the beginning, he was like, hey, it's still my joke. I was like, oh, wow, that's pretty good. That's true. He is... Yeah, we were just talking about that today because it's terrible, the shooting with the Trump thing, whatever.
Yeah.
And just the actual thing. And so I said to my sister, who's a Trumper, and my dad, like his initial reaction was to laugh. And I was like, Dad, what are you doing? But he's a Marine. Their brains don't work.
Right.
And so he was like, and I was like, and my sister kind of got pissy. And then the internet went crazy immediately. And I was like, this is crazy. They're like, Alec Baldwin did it. And I'm like, that's awful.
People, like, within minutes, I was I love it.
And I was like, oh my God, the internet.
Like, you got to give yourself an hour. It's hard if you're a comic because you're like, right? But just give
You're not going to catch the internet. There's somebody like this.
Right.
Like just watching. Has to be.
Somebody, Kyle Gass from Tenacious D said something about, next time don't miss. Did you hear what happened?
Oh, no.
So he and Jack Black were on tour in Australia as Tenacious D.
Oh, that's terrible.
Well, I mean, it's just like a lame, very easy riff you do, with a friend. But he did it on stage. And Australia's like, deport him. And Jack Black ended the tour and broke up Tenacious D. Yeah, it's like, what? Wow, that's a lot.
And his representation dropped him.
Right. Yeah.
Jack Black?
No, Kyle Gass.
Kyle Gass. Yeah, it's really
and
ridiculous.
Jack Black had to separate himself. They had to stop the tour.
Oh, Jesus.
They got kicked out of Australia. It was a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, I don't wish anybody like that, whatever. Sure, I'm not a big super fan. I get it, but at the same time, when they were saying Alec Baldwin did it, I'm like, dude, this guy just got acquitted. Calm down. And then I was like, first of all,
it was perfect timing on that one.
It's true. But he's a
the
better
stories
shot.
Almost converged.
He's a way better shot. And so I said that to my sister and she hung up on me. So I was like, I know this will work. But to say it like that, I didn't hear that.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
See, to me, it wasn't that bad of a comment.
No, it's
to
like
be,
a riffy.
blindsided. It's just you're just saying dumb stuff.
That's what the hard thing is. It's like you this is how serious people take. I mean, obviously, I don't wish anybody gets shot, killed, whatever. I mean, he's wearing a Band-Aid, which is ridiculous, but it's better than a coffin.
It's bad for America to have political violence, whether you like the candidate.
Because people are so gun violence,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden this happens, and they're like, how do you miss? Hello, that's exactly. This guy probably
Jack Black asked him a question what's your dream or something, and he just said a little joke.
He was blowing out birthday candles.
Okay.
Oh,
so I mean,
I don't get offended by anything. If he said that about me, I'd just laugh. But I get it. People are so if I got shot and he said don't miss, I'd be like, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
and my family would say that, don't miss. And but that's I didn't know that. I didn't hear it at all. Jack Black canceled.
And then a Democratic staffer tweeted something like that too. Mm-hmm. And she was fired immediately. It's like, you got to know better. If you're on a staff, if you have a regular job, you cannot be tweeting your thoughts.
You're right.
Sorry,
right.
You just need to burn.
Yeah. We're idiots, so we're allowed to say idiotic things.
Yeah.
And I guess they're entertainers as well. I don't know. That was fucked up to say. But it's also fucked up that his whole life is gonna end. You know what I mean? This is the cancel culture thing. It's like, what do we do? Do we burn him at the stake? I don't understand.
It'll blow. People will forget. You didn't even hear about it, and you're online a lot.
No, you're right. I'm terrible. But
I will forget in a week, and then but it's still
I'm not political at all.
Right.
I'm terrible.
Right. Whoops.
If it all went away, I'd be like, oh, it did? I don't know. I'm not good. I'm worse than Andrew. But, certain things I know about, but not the politics. I can't. People, especially now, people are like, rah!
I know.
And I'm like, dude, I love to fight. I'll fist fight. I don't care. But I don't have a dog in this fight.
Yeah.
I just like the workout.
Yeah.
Fighting. But yeah, people are nutty butters. But you do a lot of political material.
Not on stage though.
Or is it more writing?
It just
For writing. Because
Yeah.
Conan, right? Because
Yeah,
he would have to cover it.
Right, but he was more he liked sillier stuff.
Of
you know?
course.
He would
Conan's hilarious.
Yeah, he would do smart, like in his monologue, he'll do smart jokes, but he would also like silly jokes. So sometimes it can get so heavy with
Sure.
the monologues, you know, that you see. It gets a lot of yay, and it's like, okay, but is anyone like laughing? You know, like,
And are they doing this because it said applause?
yeah, or they just agree with the sentiment, which, you know, that can get addictive too. Yeah, right? So,
Yeah,
but is
yeah,
it a
yeah.
laugh? I don't know. So he sort of preferred to get a laugh on a joke.
Yeah.
like a
I get
crazy
that.
man.
Like a comic, like a real comic.
Yeah. So we would, it wouldn't get like too informative, our jokes.
Right. There were more.
Yeah.
It's like Jon Stewart, and I love to watch Jon Stewart. And I don't know. He just does it's so creative the
Yeah.
way he does. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that to me is impressive.
Yeah.
Because one, he knows things. Like
right,
I'd be
right,
like,
right.
I could never make that joke.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I would not. I don't have any backing for that joke. But
Yeah.
he is so like, even if I saw a clip with him and what's that guy's name? Mitzi used to watch him every night. Fuck. Bill O'Reilly.
Oh.
O'Reilly. Remember he had his own show?
Yeah.
Oh, Mitzi would watch it. It
Oh, really? On Fox
helped with
or
dementia.
inside? Oh.
Fox. No. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She used to call me with wild stories.
Oh,
Like,
really?
No. That was on the O'Reilly Factor. But it was just kicking at her dementia,
Yeah.
her sickness. And
Yeah.
so watching, and she watched it every night religiously. I believe he was on at 5 or 6 o'clock, something like
Yeah.
that, every night. And she watched it every night. And it was so terrible. But Jon Stewart was talking to him recently on something.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I read that they had talked, but I didn't see the
And he was like, this is inflation's up, da 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 da. And everything's up, you know. And I assume it's just people getting their money back from the pandemic. So I just go about my life, you know. What am I going to do? I'll just have to try to work harder. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know that a political figure could fix it.
I don't know.
It's
I
bigger
do know
business.
that I buy blocks of cheese because I love cheese,
you.
as you can tell by my body. And the price stays the same, but the cheese block is a little smaller. You're like, wait a minute, that doesn't look right. And it is a little smaller. It is what like gaslighting actually is, where you kind of turn it down and you're like, this doesn't feel right.
That's such a funny idea. Like,
Yeah. It was 16 ounces, and then it was like 14
you start
ounces.
bringing a scale.
Yeah.
This is bullshit.
Yeah.
We're all gonna feel like Alice in Wonderland in the grocery store.
I know.
I get it. But what he was saying was, Bill O'Reilly was like, this, and this, and all this because of Biden and da-da-da, whatever. And then Jon Stewart was like, yeah, all this, this happened. And he goes, but was that because of Biden? And then Bill O'Reilly goes, I don't know. And he's like, wait, you don't have a fact? And he just fell out of his chair laughing. Like, and I was like, oh, that would be me. That would be me in a conversation. Like, oh, I have no answers. But it was so good. But him, I admire that kind of stuff because I don't read, I guess. So I like when I watch you, I go, oh my God, your writing is so impeccable. Like I don't know how do you do that?
Oh,
I know that's a weird, vague question, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm an idiot. I'm a storyteller, I guess, whatever. But
so funny. Where did I see you last? Did I see you at Tammy's thing, or did I see you?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Bourbon room together. It was so good. But you went on. I came in at the end. I was like, shit, I missed more. I get so mad. I'm like, damn, because I saw you at the improv just, I don't remember, it was a couple months ago maybe.
Yeah.
And you fucking annihilate it. And either I was next or somebody was next. I don't remember. I just remember thinking, I can't do that. I can't do that. That's not what I do. That's amazing.
Isn't it weird how, like, you have to, when you watch someone else go in front of you and they're different from you and they kill, you're like, oh, okay. Now,
because your structure, though, your joke structure and your delivery is just.
Oh, well, yeah, but I feel like we all have our own thing.
Maybe.
And then it's always the couple, like, minute like right when you hit the stage, you're like, all right, we're going to reset, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah. That person you loved is gone. And now it's me. And that's it. Because we're always following just great there's so many great comics here. You're always following somebody great.
Yeah. And here is the Comedy Store, I think, is and I was just talking about this with Brent Morin, that, we do piggyback still.
Yeah, right.
Or tag team, whatever you want to call it. And so it's like, there's no host.
Yeah.
There's no barrier.
Yeah, right.
So,
yeah.
So like even in New York or the Improv, and the Laugh Factories, everybody still has hosts.
Yeah, just to like reset, right?
Yeah. So any comic that moves from New York or that's what they're used to.
Yeah.
A host. I don't know if San Fran has that as well, but
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, but like everywhere in New York has
these are unique shows on that they start and they
continue
go
a show.
Hours and hours.
Yeah. Which people are like, is this still happening? And then, but if I would get those late spots, on that second half where people are like, what the fuck,
right.
And where most clubs would break and put a whole new room in, or a whole new audience, we're still going.
Right.
And we're like, just getting those, learning to make those people stay and laugh and enjoy it is probably the hardest thing you ever have to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then it could be 1:30. I've done this 1:30 in the morning where I'm like, all right, there's only 15 people in there. I got this.
Yeah.
That's a mob.
Yeah.
This late, right?
Yeah.
And then Chappelle shows up. And you're like, oh fuck me. And then one night he did like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, nothing crazy.
Okay.
And then he's like, is somebody next or no? And I was like, I'll go. And I was like, why did you say that as I was walking up to the stage? And people were like, should we stay? Like, we already saw a celebrity. Who's this thing?
Right.
And I think I kept 10 of those 15 people.
That's not bad.
And I felt like,
is that 2/3? I'm not great with fractions, but I think that's 2/3. That's
now
pretty
you think
good.
I know math. All right. So your first writing gig was on
Tough Crowd.
Tough Crowd.
Yeah.
And now submitting for writing? Like you're like, oh, I can write a packet. That's easy.
Yeah.
Was it your agent? Was it you? Like,
well, Tough Crowd was
word of mouth.
No, I had not considered a writing career at all. I was just a stand-up. And then I did shows at Gitmo at Guantanamo Bay before we knew what was happening there.
It was a good sign.
This show was incredible. Okay, Colin Quinn, Lenny Clark.
The fucking my favorite.
Greg Giraldo, Jim Gaffigan, Greg Rogel. God, Modi was there.
Modi was around that long.
Yeah, somebody else too. I'm missing a few. But so we all flew to Cuba. We were there for a week. We had one show in front of the troops. It's been completely buried on Comedy Central. You can't find because it was a Gitmo.
It was recorded.
Yeah, it was for Comedy Central.
Shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like a post 9/11 cheer up the troops kind of thing.
Right.
And so that's when I heard about Tough Crowd. And I got Colin's email. He had an AOL address, and so I just and then when he had the pilot, he had hired a bunch of comics, and I was like, oh, I didn't know he's hiring. Well, I want to be hired,
right?
So then I started pestering him, and he hired me for a week. But there's no it was all written, so it was almost like he just was like, here's a writing credit. I'm like, okay. And then it got picked up, and then I asked again, can I do another submission for the actual show?
Sure.
And so I did, and that worked.
Were you ever on?
I was on a couple times, yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
That's great.
It was
so like I said, I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
I believe you. I didn't watch it. I only saw clips, and now they throw them out, but they're not filmed. Like, it seems like
it was
filmed in a
tape. I know. They don't look
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Because when you watched it in real time, you were like, oh, this is great.
Yeah, I guess we were used to that kind of quality, though.
Maybe.
Right? And it didn't feel bad. And now you're like, oh, this is awful.
Yeah, this is pretty terrible here. I like it, though. Mm-hmm. But no, I now they put clips up Like if I watch anything with Colin Quinn, because I think his special should be shown in schools.
Oh, I know. He's
like
brilliant.
Unbelievable. And so if I watch anything Colin Quinn, all that'll come up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
There's
great.
My algorithm.
Yeah.
So that'll pop up every once in a while, the tough crowd.
Cool. Yeah.
But then, so now how do you move to LA?
I got a job on the Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remember that?
And I was there for a little bit, and then I jumped over to, and this is probably absolutely terrible career. But here's the thing. I thought Ferguson was going to fire me, but I don't think he was because I got really mad when I left. But I thought I just thought. And
What made you think that? Like they were.
my head. You understand?
No, I mean,
heads,
no.
right?
Did you do something?
No.
Okay.
But I had at the same time I'd done a packet for Ferguson. I'd done a packet for Adam Carolla because he was going to have a show.
Okay.
Ferguson hired me, and then Carolla wanted to hire me, and I was like, oh, they're firing people. They might fire me. So I went to Carolla, which was really dumb in retrospect. For obviously Carolla didn't last that long, but
his show, right.
Yeah.
I see.
So
I was gonna say he has a show, but it's a podcast. My fault. I love his podcast.
Yeah, it was too late with Adam Carolla. It was actually the replacement, the Tough Crowd replacement.
Okay.
Before Colbert came in and replaced that. Wow. And then I went back to New York for a couple years, got pregnant, had a baby, and then I got hired on the Bonnie Hunt show for a little bit. Got fired.
I remember her.
I did get fired on that one.
Okay.
And I remember her.
Was she in New York?
No, L.A.
Oh,
And then
okay. Was she hard? Was she hard to deal with? Because I remember they gave her a show, but she was like an actress.
She. I think daytime is super intense. There's a ton of pressure, and it's. I don't think anyone enjoys daytime television. Working on it, it's really hard.
Yeah,
late nights a lot
looser,
more fun, looser.
Yeah.
And more funny. Like I always felt like with daytime, they were really worried about what the audience would think. You know, if anything was controversial, like I don't know what they think. They did think to me the audience were women from 1951. You know that, and were easily offended. So everyone was
they got
so
a house
concerned
coat
about everything. Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
And then late night, everyone's like, oh, they're all high, so no one cares what you say to them.
They're drinking NyQuil.
Yeah,
chilling out.
Then I got hired on Conan for the TBS show. So after Tonight Show ended.
Conan's so funny.
I know. Yeah.
And how he was on a long time.
That was 11 years, yeah.
Shit. Mm-hmm. And did you write the whole time on there? Mm-hmm. Damn, girl.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it was cool. I missed it a lot. I haven't been able to get another job either.
Oh, writing-wise?
Yeah. I mean, there's not as many jobs.
Well, that's true.
Late nights kind of, as an art form, is kind of
falling
apart a little bit. Mm-hmm. No one watches it when it airs, and so it's just a lot of clips and stuff. So
it's incredible
fewer
how
people watch it when it airs.
I agreed. Yeah. I just don't know how any of it survives. I remember I
don't know.
I think it was in New York.
Yeah.
And I was trying to fall asleep, and you're at a hotel and they have like 4 channels.
Right.
And 2 of them are like 6 and 10, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know the numbers. I still go by my mom's numbers. 3, 6, and 10. And so she goes, so I was just flipping, and there was this girl, pretty girl, Indian, I think.
So, Lily Singh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I go, where the fuck did this girl come from? Like, I never even heard of her. And they were like, oh, this is this, and da-da-da, and pushing. And I mean, then after I saw it in New York, it was all over my, and I was like, did I do this? Is my phone here? I didn't put her name in. I didn't look her up. And then I did look her up because I go, damn, they're really pushing this girl. I'm really out of the loop bad. Yeah. And then I looked her up. I don't remember where she came from or whatever, but then gone. Never heard. Now nothing. What happened?
I know. I don't know what happened to her. She was like huge on YouTube. And
YouTube. Okay. I remember
so she was the
like
Carson Daly replacement.
Okay.
I don't think, you can't have, Conan isn't actually, but sorry, I'm just, like I was going to say, you can't have someone with no performing experience go out and do monologues, but then that's what Conan was. But somehow he made it work. But I mean, so,
But he had great writers.
He did, and he figured it out. And I don't know. I watched her show a couple times, and I don't know. It was fine, but I think the decision to cast her was like, oh, she's going to bring everyone over from YouTube.
I get what they're doing.
NBC, and I don't know. I don't think that's the way people move. They'll be like, I'll just watch this clip on YouTube when NBC puts it on YouTube. Yeah.
Do you think television will ever come back?
I have no idea.
Craziness.
No, not the way it was.
Never.
Going in a different direction.
Yeah. And
I mean, I go by my kid. My kid watches a ton of like
YouTube.
He watches a ton of YouTube, but he'll watch a lot of hour-longs, like old hour-longs. Like we're working through The Americans. He's watched all the Walking Dead stuff.
Oh, wow.
Breaking Bad, 17.
Oh, that's a great
Saul,
age,
Yeah. Better Call Saul. So there, there's an audience for that too. They're just not.
They are watching old stuff.
Yeah.
That is an interesting thing. Like my nephew, he's 13, and he's like, have you ever seen? I'm like, yeah, of course. What do you think you're?
I auditioned for
You're something. I built it. No, I'm kidding. I don't get any work. But yeah, it's just like these weird things, and like I was watching. I mean, I'm kind of a sports person. I still have cable because I'm a
you do?
Elderly woman.
Yeah.
But I still because I watch sports.
Yeah.
But now they're switching it to YouTube and this and that. So I had the home run derby on the other day.
Of course.
And I'm, washing dishes. Then there was a bunch of Phillies in there, Red Sox, so I'm like, whatever, let me watch the home run. And I hear the national anthem. I don't know if you heard this.
I read about it. It was horrible.
Unbelievable.
Horrible in a great way, though. It was so bad people loved it. That's what I thought. No,
I didn't get that at all. I mean, if they loved it, those people are those people are in a different level.
Good singer had a bad day, or a terrible singer.
So what the story is that
terrible singer.
It was a singer. She's actually a Grammy-nominated singer.
Unbelievable.
And
just one hit.
She had a bad performance, so bad that the next day or a couple days later, she had to come out and release that she's going to rehab.
No.
Oh
yeah.
God.
So she came out and apologized and said, "Hey guys, I'm sorry for my performance and it was at the MLB's home run derby."
Yeah.
She said, "I'm sorry for my performance at the home run derby. I have a drinking problem and I am submitting myself to rehab."
Wow.
Now we all have a drinking problem because of what we had to listen to. But no, I'm kidding. She was a kid, I think, right?
I know,
or
but
she young?
If you look at like Janis Joplin, she had a drinking problem too, but it didn't.
She was incredible.
Yeah, it didn't affect her voice that way.
Wait, it's funny. But no, she I looked her up and there's like one song on repeat on her Instagram, but she's got like 1 million followers.
Who is this?
She's a kid.
Who is it?
That's her.
What's her name? That's not Sabrina.
No.
Okay.
I think this is sacrilegious.
This is okay so far.
I want it to be a singer.
It's starting to fail.
Look, even the Dominicans are like,
"Bad or is this me?"
He's trying, Boom. Keep it.
Here we go.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph. I still feel guilty about bad sets. And I got to be honest, I'm glad it wasn't on this kind of platform.
God. Listen, nobody can top Whitney Houston at the Super Bowl.
Well, everybody knows that. And everybody tried. Like, even when Fergie did it at the basketball, oof.
Yeah.
Roseanne was so bad, she was making a mockery of it.
Yeah.
When Roseanne did it, she just decided to commit to the mockery.
Yeah.
But it was... this is bad. And then when I saw Grammy, I was like, get the fuck out.
Yeah,
but it's one song she has.
So singer Ingrid
It's Instagram.
Ingrid Andress says that she was drunk. The
She
quote.
sounds drunk.
The quote is, "I'm checking myself into facility today to get the help I need. That was not me last night. I apologize to MLB and the fans and this country I love so much for that rendition."
I loved it. And I don't want to hear her sing it sober ever.
No, I think it's going to make America great again. I got to be honest. This might be what
More
we
of
need
this.
to rebuild.
Boo rehab.
She might bring us all together.
We have united behind.
Oh, I can't do it right. But she was like she swallowed it.
Yeah.
I can't.
Well,
I was
yeah,
like,
I mean, the Rockets Red Glare, that's the line where you're like, do you have it or not?
Yeah, right.
Oh, you don't.
You're right.
Not today.
Not there. Not
Yeah,
there.
it came out like the alien. Just
Yeah.
busted through her skin.
Sigourney Weaver came and
Yeah.
nothing. All right.
Busted. Yeah, yes.
I got it. I never get references.
You got it.
God
But you
damn it. I
You got it. You got both of mine today. Those two, you're on top of it.
I'm getting better. So what year was it when you came out here for the Conan?
2010?
2010.
Yeah.
And you didn't ever come here to showcase or anything
A
like
little
that?
bit. I would drive
did you
down
meet
from
Mitzi?
LA. Oh, no, I never met Mitzi. No,
okay,
I didn't.
2010. Yeah, that's
Yeah. Yeah, but I didn't come down. I was like, oh, I'm not ready. I'm one of
she
those
wasn't
people that's
coming in
like,
then anyway.
I'm not ready. I'm going to get fired. I mean, I make up a lot of bad stories in my head and then ruin my life because of them.
I get
so
it,
if
I
I could
get it.
stop that would be great.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I make up a lot of bad stories in my head. That's interesting. Like you mean like you're your own worst enemy of it. I mean, we all are. I believe comics are all like that, or entertainers of any kind. We build these crazy things in our head. But like, was there like, I have to be a regular at the Improv, or I have to be like, or did you not care? You just want to work?
Yeah, I guess I more just wanted to work, you know, do spots.
Yeah.
Right.
Just because you were already technically working.
Yeah.
You're doing Conan.
Yeah.
But but as far as like,
it was I wanted to like keep I didn't want to. I know if you stop doing comedy, it's really hard to start again. So
Absolutely.
I've always never stopped. Like I've always kept going no matter what was happening, right? So to me, I was always like doing maintenance spots. Like I was always trying to work for stuff, but it wasn't like, I would try to do a spot a night and then go home to my kid. Like I wasn't going to be out all night hopping around like you would if you had just moved to a city because you wanted to move to that city, right?
It's also hard to tour.
Yes. Yeah. I would just do stuff on like hiatus weeks. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So were your clubs like the Improv? Because was the Improv in New York still?
No. New York was like, I worked
early,
at New York
right?
Comedy Club a lot.
I love
the Comic Strip.
the Cellar. I
worked the Cellar a little bit. Yeah. For a time. And then Gotham and stand up. And it's weird because all the clubs have changed now. They've changed ownership. And so it's different. Like I don't work the Comic Strip that much. I used to, like when I worked at Lucian was there. It is weird to walk into a place where you have a lot of memories. And go, oh, everything's different. This is really strange. It doesn't feel, you're like, wait, I had a conversation with that person there, and then I don't know, the table's gone, and everything. You know what I mean?
Everything's different now.
Yeah, it is jarring, and I think that even the Comic Strip even moved the stage.
Oh, did they? I've been back.
Remember the stage would be on the left side when you're watching from the booth, and now it's right in front. It's in front of you.
I've only worked it when it's straight in front. I think
okay.
They showed me pictures of when it was on the side. They
with
were
the
like
blue background.
Yes,
I was so used to that. And
yeah.
Between that and
they have a
Lucian's
ton of pictures.
tables being taken out, I was like, wow. What is this?
He had a lot of people not like him. I'll say that.
He did.
Were you a fan or not a fan?
he liked me, and but it was stayed clear and tried not to get in his crosshairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's some people he was very fixated on. I wasn't one of them, but he liked me. So that was an okay place to be in. Yeah.
So I do just want to cut in. It is 8:00.
Oh, okay.
So I
Sorry.
Okay.
I know
All
you
right.
guys had a show.
I just have one question. Katie said it's fine.
Okay.
So,
Okay, great.
so there's another question I had. Your specials. I can't remember what it was called, but I want to say the wrong. Go ahead.
45 jokes about my dead dad.
That's
it's a special about my dad dying.
I
of
almost said the
cancer.
wrong parent died. That was my favorite joke.
She died too. Oh, yeah. The wrong parent died first. Yeah.
Yeah. That was, oh, God.
And
Do I
then-
get in trouble for repeating your joke? Go ahead.
And then this one I had come out in January called Cis Woke Grief Slut.
What?
Quite a title.
Cis Woke Greek Slut?
Grief Slut.
Grief.
Yeah,
slut.
not Greek. Yeah.
Greek. I was like, wait, you're not Greek. That's what is that one about?
Oh, it's just an hour of
cis woke.
stand-up. There's
Okay.
stuff about I put this in there because I have like a lot of pro-trans jokes, but I didn't want to like say trans in the title. I feel like I was kind of, exploiting that
Sure,
issue.
sure.
So I just put cis in it because that's me anyway. And then,
Wait, am I cis?
yes, you are.
Thank you.
You're
Yes,
cis-
extremely Eleanor.
Are you sure?
You're double cis.
What about
I
these
think.
nuts? I'm just kidding. All right. So wait, where is that? Where is that?
That's you can get it on. It's Comedy Dynamics, so they push it out everywhere.
right.
It's free on Tubi. It's also on United Airlines and
wow.
Amazon Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, it's free. It's also you can like pay a little bit and watch it on YouTube or Vimeo,
Killer.
etc.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one about your dad, I remember when you were working those jokes out because we
Yeah.
were doing that place with Tammy. What was that
Mallow.
called?
Yeah.
Mallow.
Right.
We used to call it the taco joint. It was great Mexican food.
Yeah.
And I would be up there, me and my ex, and we would go because you would be crushing
Oh,
about
wow.
these jokes. And there was this one joke that you said you were buying your dad something.
Costco or no? Oh, the present, the iPad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to buy them something you know you're going to.
Oh, that you're
enjoy
gonna
when
about
you
to
get it
inherit.
back.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
My
said
dad
that-
did not in hospice, he did not want an iPad. But I'm like, I will in 2 months.
I literally said that to my mother, and she laughed really hard. But my brother went, Eleanor. And I was like, that's hysterical. But it's such a great joke. It's so stupid. Like you buy them something you want to inherit. All right. Well, where can people find you online? You have Instagram.
I'm on Instagram. My handle is
Twitter?
AnyLaurie16, which I selected before I realized how important this would be to my career. That's my handle on
There it is.
Instagram and Twitter.
AnyLaurie16. That's
Yeah.
funny.
It's my old AOL chat room name was Any Laurie.
Your aim.
Yes. I was in a lot of early rooms.
That's
Yeah.
great.
And then LaurieKilmartin.com. You can get links to my specials if you want to watch.
Perfect. Guys, check her out. Literally screaming, laughing. So fucking funny.
Oh.
Check her out, please. And like, subscribe, do that. Give her a follow. And then also don't forget to check out my special on the Comedy Store YouTube channel, No Country for Old Women.
I love it.
Everybody knows there isn't a country for old women. So watch the special. And you don't have to even write in the comments, you're old. I already know it. Isn't that amazing?
God, those comments.
But I love your comments, good or bad. Keep them coming. Helps the algorithm.
Yeah,
All right,
for
thank
sure.
you so much.
Thanks,
Thank you for doing
Eleanor.
this. Let's run over
Let's
to
run over.